Welcome back. Now, no doubt, many of you this morning will be feeling a little bit groggy after the St. Patrick's Day festivities yesterday.
There are some upsides to this job, aren't there?
Oh, yeah.
Don't have a social life.
Yeah.
But have no fear. Nutritionist Heather Leeson is here to give you the best ways to get over those hangover blues. Good morning to you,
Morning,
Heather.
Heather.
Good morning.
We're talking during the break about what alcohol is doing to our body. Give us an explain around that first, because unfortunately for girls, it takes its toll more on women than men.
It does. That's because of our body composition. So men have more muscle, so as a rule, it affects them slightly less. But what happens when we drink alcohol, it's a toxin. So the minute it hits our body, we're trying to get rid of it. Hits our stomach, and most of it is absorbed in the small intestine, the stomach, but within 10 minutes you're going to feel it into the bloodstream, gradually circulating around the body, and it will end up in the liver. So that's why I always say eat something before you. I know it's a little bit late now, but that's why it's so important to eat something before you drink.
So that whole idea of soakage.
Slow it down. Yeah, just slow down the absorption.
Slows down the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what if we haven't taken that advice and we're now suffering today?
Yeah.
Is it the full Irish the way to go?
No, not necessarily. Even that lovely dish that we were
You never
looking
thought
at.
Heather was going to say yes to that, did you?
I hoped you might say
No, I'm
yeah,
not. I'm
no.
not going to be recommending that.
No.
And the reason for that is because a lot of people will be feeling a little bit nauseous. So something that's quite high in fat is quite hard to digest. So maybe later.
And also painkillers, you were saying before.
Yeah, no, you have to be really careful. So aspirin is very hard on the stomach as well. So if you're feeling a little bit fragile, aspirin might be the thing that tips you over. Paracetamol has to go through the liver. So that's, if the liver's already under a little bit of pressure, just watch it.
So liquids. But in terms of eating, what would you recommend?
Something nice and simple to start with anyway. Toast and an egg, for example, even toast and a bit of peanut butter. So what you want is some carbohydrates, ideally whole grain carbohydrates, and a little bit of protein or fat, just to lift your blood sugar level. So a lot of us will be feeling a little bit low, maybe even a little bit shaky this morning after a big night out. That's rebound low blood sugar. So it is important to eat something. If you can't eat something, at least drink something like a smoothie or something that will give you a little bit more than just water. But hydration, probably the most important thing you can do.
Toast and peanut butter sounds all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a bit of banana on top of that.
Where do you stand on coffee? Because I think coffee would be one of the first things people would go to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, coffee
or tea
can be an irritant. So if you think of alcohol as an irritant to the gut as well, putting coffee in on top of that can, again, be too much for some people. Tea, maybe something a little bit warm, particularly today. You're going to want to warm up, but it can irritate the gut. Water, if you can do it, or even better, something like coconut water, which I'm using later on because it's got those electrolytes. We use loads of water to detox the alcohol, so about 4 times as much liquid to get rid of alcohol as we put in. If you have a glass of wine, you need 4 glasses of water to get rid of it.
Wow.
So you think, a lot of people sitting at home with a banging headache maybe today, that's literally because you're suffering from dehydration, thinking your poor old brain like a sponge that's been wrung out. You need to put that hydration back in. Coffee probably won't do it. And you'll have lost minerals along with the water as well. That's why something like coconut water with the electrolytes in it is going to help you feel a bit better.
And smoothies are a great vehicle for getting all of the good things in there.
Yeah, they are.
And they can also taste great.
They can.
You have some examples.
They can, yeah. So you want to put in some fruit, give it a nice bit of flavour, pick up your blood sugar levels as well. I always like to throw in some greens to add a little bit of nutrition, something like lime juice or lemon juice to add a little bit of a zing. And the spices that we can use to help with our gut if we're feeling nauseous are things like ginger and peppermint. And ginger is fantastic in a smoothie. I'm going to be using that today, a little bit of fresh root ginger, but if you didn't have that, dried ginger, even a ginger tea will work.
Ginger is fine, or
the medicinal qualities in ginger alone.
Yeah,
fabulous.
So that helps nausea, because I know during pregnancy I would have had little crystallised ginger in my handbag.
It's brilliant, really good, and there's a lot of scientific evidence behind that. Peppermint as well, so peppermint, something like a peppermint tea is really nice today if you're feeling a little bit nauseous, just to quell the nausea.
So we're going to make one? What are you going to make?
I am going to make it. I'm going to make a recovery smoothie. So I'm putting in some mango. Now, this is frozen mango. Fresh mango can be a bit of a pain, hard to get a ripe one, but also much cheaper just to buy frozen. You can get it pretty much everywhere.
Are we fine with frozen? Because there was a fear around frozen berries and stuff for a while, Heather. Where are we at with that?
The berries are still an issue, so that's risk of poisoning from that. And you want, if you're using frozen berries, you want to make sure they're either Irish or organic.
Okay.
Or else you have to heat them up first, which is a bit of a
that's
not
just too
really
much of a
suitable
rigmarole,
for,
isn't it?
for a smoothie. I'm putting in lovely fresh spinach. You can use cucumber in this as well, is nice. I want this for the green colour for St. Patrick's Day as
okay.
well. A little bit of lime. Lime is lovely and zingy, and sometimes adding a little bit of citrus. Shane would probably know more about that than me, but adds just a little bit of a lift to the flavour. Whoops, sorry, I'm squirting
Shane just got
everywhere. Whoa, sorry, everyone.
Shane's
A little bit of lime, a little bit of lemon. You don't have to do it at all, but just to add flavour. I'm adding in my fresh ginger. Now, I've got a really good blender, but you can use any sort of, even a hand blender. A lot of people have...
just grate it.
Grate it in, exactly, or a lot of people have the NutriBullet type blenders.
Yeah.
I'm adding in a little bit of natural yogurt. So this is the protein that I mentioned earlier, just to slow down the rate at which the sugar in this will hit your bloodstream. Also to put in some beneficial bacteria, because that might be flushed out. Sometimes when you drink, your digestive system will speed, I'm trying to be very delicate here, will speed up a little bit with the elimination.
Yeah, you are.
And
Speed up the elimination. What a beautiful turn of phrase.
Putting in a little bit of probiotic yogurt will help, and I always
so
use
careful
full
with your
fat.
words.
I know, I don't want to
Brilliant, I love
upset
it.
anyone
Yeah.
at home. And then loads of coconut water. You want to get in as much water as possible, because hydration is the name of the game.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is nice and cold as well, because the mango is frozen.
Lovely.
So it's going to
Okay.
be nice and soothing. Now, excuse the
This is a
noise
very
here.
fancy blender,
This
Heather.
is a really fancy blender.
It's like the Ferrari of blenders.
Like a jet
moly.
engine. Like I said, any blender will do.
Whatever you have at home.
Blender
Whatever you
will
have at
do.
home.
That's
So I
some
possibly
Justin's
could have
Technicolor blender.
blended
not even
this
hungover.
a wee bit
I am looking
longer.
forward to tasting this, because I do like mango. I do like lime juice.
So this is a little bit lumpy. At home, I'd blend it a little bit longer. It just doesn't make
That's
for
all right.
great TV. So this is going to hydrate and also help with symptoms
Grazie.
of nausea.
Oh.
And I would be drinking, a half pint of this at least if I could. And you can make it from whatever fruit and veg you have at home. Water if you don't have coconut water. Well,
I think that's delicious.
That's gorgeous.
good.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
genuinely
Zingy
delicious.
is lovely.
I also think it's a great way to get the likes of spinach into a child's diet.
It is
Exactly.
great. So, like I said, it's not just for hangovers. This is great before and after sport as well. And if I was recommending it there, I might put in something like a protein powder or a little bit more
Very good.
avocado or chia seeds, something to bump up the nutrition. But it's brilliant.
That's very tasty. Heather,
Good.
thank you for braving the
My
elements and coming in.
pleasure, my
Thank you,
And safe
Heather.
home.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Right, if you want to make Heather's smoothie at home, you can find our recipe on our Facebook page at Sunday AM TV Tweet.
After the break, we have Ladies' Day styles. What was that?
I have no idea.